Welcome back, everybody, and welcome to Flocks and the Sports Podcast. As always, I'm one of your hosts, Brendan, ripping 54, Bobby Wagner of the Seattle Seahawks. Today, we are going to be previewing the Seahawks prime time matchup on Thursday Night Football against the Arizona Cardinals in Week 4 of the NFL season. Really excited to get into this one. It should be a great game. Division rival, prime time, Thursday Night Football. All the makings of a great game that hopefully the Seahawks can come on top of. I think they will. I'm cautiously optimistic about this game, just based on how the Seahawks handled business against the Saints and how they've looked so far this season and how meh the Cardinals have looked so far this season. So we'll get right into it. I always start with the injury report just because I think it is a very important place to start. Who's playing, who's not, what are we going to see? For starters, some terrible news with injuries. Robbie Oots has been put on IR with an ankle injury. Really unfortunate. Hurt it against the Saints. So he's going to miss at least 4 games. Just unfortunate news. Thought he was playing really well for a rookie. This does mean we're going to see Brady Russell fill in at that spot. We'll see how that goes. Just unfortunate news for rookie. It was looking really good. Some other news: D'Anthony Bell has been signed to the 53. This was going to have to be the case. You're allowed 3 elevations. He's already used 2, so they've elevated him. It's not that surprising of a move. And then Jarek Reed signs to the practice squad. D'Anthony Bell just fills in the spot that Brady Oots' IR vacates. So, all good there. For the injury report itself, players that are good to go include Julian Love and Devin Witherspoon. They obviously didn't play against the Saints. They're going to be back for the Cardinals. Love to see that. Both of these guys are going to be key in the secondary, key to the Seahawks' success on defense. So I love to see that. I'm very excited to see this defense play with these 2 guys back. Listed as questionable is Boya Mafe with the toe, Zach Charbonnet with the foot, and Anthony Bradford with his back. I believe Mafe and Charbonnet both practiced in full today, and then Anthony Bradford was limited. So I kind of expect for at least possibly Charbonnet to be back, maybe even. So Mafe in 3 days. The first 2, Monday, Tuesday. They didn't actually practice. This would just be if they did. He was limited, full participation today. And then, in terms of Zach Charbonnet, he was full all week. I think he's good to go. I think he'll be fine for the game. We'll see. That's just an assumption. And then, listed as doubtful is Nick Emenwari. I do not expect him back for this game. He was full go today. He was a full participant in practice. I just don't think that matters. I don't think he's going to play. It's unfortunate, but he is listed as doubtful, and the Seahawks don't list you as doubtful, and then you play. That's just not really how this works. The only person that is out other than Brady Russell is Josh Jones, who has an ankle. Got hurt when he came in the Saints game. This is another unfortunate one. Hopefully we don't need him for this game. He can get right, get healthy. Beyond that, everyone else that was listed, Arroyo, he's fine. Good to go. Ernest Jones, good to go. Sundell, good to go. Williams, good to go. And Witherspoon. But I already said that. So yeah, everyone else, good to go. Just like minor things that weren't really important. So all good there. Love to see that. Unfortunate on the limited injury news, but still great to see. On the Cardinals side of things, I know Zay Jones, the wide receiver, has a concussion and is going to sit out this game. Kind of unfortunate there for the Cardinals. Is kind of important to their passing game in a way, but isn't this big person within their passing game. So not too worried there. Doubtful is Will Johnson with the groin injury. I don't think he's going to play. Didn't play last week. Hasn't practiced at all this week. I don't think he's going to play. And then their questionables: Kevin Beachum, Evan Brown, Akeem Gaither-Davis, Darren Hall, Paris Johnson Jr., and Will Hernandez. I cannot speak to the varying degree of these injuries. I have no idea if they play or not. But I think the biggest loss they're going to see is no James Conner. He is on season-ending IR. Really unfortunate. That ankle injury he suffered against the 49ers looked horrific. Really feel bad for him. Great player on his day. Not some. I never root for injuries. Never want injuries. Nothing like that. So this is really unfortunate. Hopefully next year he can come back. But that's going to be a big loss for that offense. That kind of does it for the injury report side of things. I think the Seahawks are in a better position in terms of injury situation than the Cardinals. The Cardinals are missing one of their key offense players. Somebody else in that offense that can kind of help. A lot of their offensive line were listed as out, and then they've had some issues in secondary with injuries as well. So keep that in mind. I think the Seahawks are coming into this game healthier and more prepared. So the Seahawks are opening the game as 1.5-point favorites. This wasn't the case earlier in the week. They were 1.5-point underdogs, but that all has changed. I do think Seattle is coming into Arizona on much more momentum than Arizona has. Just lost to the 49ers in kind of really bad fashion. Not great. I will say away games on Thursday Night Football do not historically favor the away team. This favors the home team quite often. It was such a quick turnaround for the away team who played Sunday to then make the trip and perform. So that is a thing we're going to see. But I think the Seahawks team is prepared. I think they are going to be prepared. And I think this game means enough to them to come at it with the right mindset. In terms of what I'm actually looking for, I think we saw the blueprint to beating this team last year, and that is play good defense, force Kyler Murray to make decisions, force him to throw the football, and play really good defense. I think this defense is going to be key. They looked great last year against him. I don't expect that to change very much. I don't think Kyler Murray is a fantastic quarterback. Can you put him under pressure? Can you get him frantically moving around the pocket and just prevent his legs from actually taking over? I think that'll be the key. Offensively, can we just see them be efficient? Last year in the Cardinals games, that was really where they got the run game going. Now this Cardinals defense is significantly improved from last year. I think they're actually playing very well, all things considered. So I would like to see the Seahawks kind of establish the run and just play efficient football this week. They did it last week. They didn't need to be anything otherwise. And I think that is going to be the thing with this offense is can they just continue being efficient? And I think they can. I think Darnold is doing a great job. I think Darnold's been great so far this year. So that's all I'm really looking to see is can they continuously be efficient? I'm looking for JSN. I think JSN has been phenomenal this season. I expect him to continue that trend throughout the season. And I think this game, I think him, Kupp, are both going to have big games because of what the Cardinals struggle with. The Cardinals struggle guarding the middle of the field, and that's where these guys eat. That's where they perform their best, is in these intermediate middle parts of the field. That's what the Seahawks are built to do. So if they can establish the run game, attack the middle of the field, I think they'll have real success against this team, especially with all the injuries that the Cardinals have in their secondary. Truthfully, I think this is a must-win game for both teams. It's a divisional game. The Seahawks have already lost one in the division. They've both lost one in the division. They both need to win this game. So it's going to come down to which team comes out swinging more passionately, and I think the Seahawks are just a more passionate team. I don't think Kyler Murray, who's the leader on the team, has the passion aspect of the game for me to be confident that he leads the Cardinals to an outstanding victory. that's what it comes down to for me. Is I think this Seahawks team, is going to come in there with momentum and juice and confidence and passion. And I don't know if we're going to see that from this Cardinals team, even though they are at home. So really excited for this game. I do think the Seahawks are going to win. For my prediction, I'm going to go on a more conservative side. I think the Seahawks are going to win 27 to 10. I think this defense is going to really hold the Cardinals offense without James Conner and the struggles they've been having. And then I think offensively, I think we're just going to be able to consistently put up some points and get an efficient offensive showing. And that's all we really need. So I think that's my prediction. Seahawks 27, Cardinals 10. So I got the Seahawks winning this one. Really excited. I think the Seahawks do win. I'm not too worried about this game, truthfully. I have a cautious optimism about this one. So that's great. Would love a Seahawks win. Obviously, do not want to see them lose. Just kind of hoping that when I come back to you next week in the actual pod, we can talk about an outstanding victory and something that I think can springboard the Seahawks to better things within the season. I think this game could be the springboard the Seahawks need to truly start being talked about in the national eye, because right now they're just not. And that's not a problem with me. I'm just saying this game could be the springboard. National TV, division rival on the road. If you can go in there and beat them, I think you'll be starting to be talked about nationally as a true team. So really looking forward to that. Make sure to check out the podcast next week for my reaction to this game. That'll be up. Check out the podcast we posted yesterday. Really fun. Talk about last week's game against the Saints. Super awesome. And then also check out Dallas's preview for the Ravens-Chiefs game. That'll be coming out later this week. Check that out. Make sure to like, subscribe, comment when you subscribe. You'll be notified when we post. So you won't miss any of the videos I just said. So that's great. Comment. What's your prediction for this game? How do you feel the Seahawks are doing so far this season? Where do you think we're going to go with this Cardinals game? Do you think this Cardinals game is difficult, easy? Should we win? Do you think the Cardinals are better than I'm giving them credit? Let me know. For me, the Cardinals are just not that good of a team. So, optimistic about this one. But yeah. Thank you all for joining. It's been Flock in the Sports Podcast, and thank you.